In this video, I'm going to be showing you how you can auto-deploy out a DAX user-defined function from Dax Lib via a Microsoft Fabric notebook using Semantic Link Labs. And that was a big mouthful. And if nothing I said made any sense to you, don't worry, because we're going to explain it all in this video. But first, I've got to introduce myself. Hi, I'm Ned. I'm a Microsoft MVP with a focus on Power BI. And in today's video, we're gonna get technical. But first, if you could do me a favor and you could go over and you could hit the like button and then go on over and hit the subscribe button, it would mean a lot, especially if you're interested in business intelligence, because that's all I really talk about. Okay, let's jump into the computer and let's start learning. So the first thing that we need to define is what is a user-defined function in Microsoft Power BI? Well, at a high level, they're reusable pieces of DAX code that you can write that take inputs and produce an output.
Now, DAX UDFs have three big advantages over, let's just say, a traditional measure. The first of which is having the logic centralized and easily maintainable. So, for example, if a business rule were to change, instead of having to go and hunt through every single measure, all you would have to do is update the single UDF logic. From a maintainability standpoint, because it's just one thing, it's also a lot easier to track in Git, for example. The next big advantage is their portability and collaboration. So if you're a big company, you can maintain a library of standard functions and then easily move them between models. They will also then allow, for example, a lead BI developer to define kind of golden logic that junior developers can then use to build really complex reports without having to fully understand everything. And then the third big advantage is really improved code readability, right? You can embed a lot of logic in the function itself that's really well documented without having to hide a bunch of stuff with variables in measures.
So for example, there's a DAX user-defined function in this semantic model that returns these little bars. And you can see me calling it right here in this measure called bounce, where I have defined a function called edwardcharles.cardBar. And this is just one that's returning an SVG image, but there's others that return things like formatting strings or calculations. You create them in individual semantic models. So if I go over here into model view, what you'll see is that under functions, I have the function that I have created listed, and you can view its definition. So you can see what kind of variables it takes in, and then what kind of logic it has, and then what it eventually returns down here. Now, these are really, really, really useful, but for as useful as they are, it takes a lot of time and thought and energy to put one together. And so what's happened is some of the more motivated and inspired members of the community have started to publish out the things that they have created that are really cool and really useful out to a library. So anyone who, maybe doesn't care that much about Power BI can go out and download it and use it in their own reports without actually having to create the whole thing themselves from scratch. And that's where Dax Lib comes into play. Dax Lib is a community-driven library put together by the same people that write on the really, really famous blog SQL BI. So if Dax Lib sounds interesting to you, what you can do is you can search for Dax Lib on a web browser of your choice, click into the first link. I already had it open over here, and it'll bring you to this page. You can then search for a specific Dax Lib package, or you could hit the Browse Packages functionality. And then you can go by keyword, and let's just say you wanted to format time here. You could go ahead and you could check this little time box and then click into this package right here. And you can say, oh, wow, this package has functions in it that help me format time. That's really cool. I want to deploy it. So you could either download the package by clicking this download button right here, or you could hit the code button and you could download the functions that make up this package. And by the way, functions or packages can contain multiple functions. And so you could just simply copy this out, paste it into a Power BI Timble view and hit run, and it would create all the functions in this package in your semantic model. But if in listening to me describe that process, you thought, wow, that's really manual, and wow, I've got 50 different, semantic models. If I want to deploy this out, you're telling me I've got to go paste that code 50 different times. That's going to be a lot. Then you're already on the same page that I am. And that is we're really excited about this new functionality of Semantic Link Labs because what it allows you to do is it allows you to take a Microsoft Fabric notebook and then deploy out any single package into any single semantic model. And because it's Python, you could give it a workspace or a list of semantic models, and you could have it loop through all of them and auto deploy. And that's the demo that I've put together for you today. So let's go take a look at our fancy dancy Microsoft Fabric notebook. So the first thing that we're going to need to do is we're going to need to install Semantic Link Labs. And if you don't know what Semantic Link Labs is, and I'm talking while this is running, it is the open source project from Microsoft where they basically have created wrappers for a huge number of kind of admin or like automation tasks that you might want to do in Microsoft Fabric. And there's different pieces. So there's one that's designed for working with a tabular model. There's one that's designed for working with reports, so on and so forth. And so the Dax Lib piece here is kind of a piece of that larger package or larger open source project. So there we go. We just installed it. Now that's why we got the little green check here. And so the first thing that we then need to do is we then need to import in Dax Lib and we need to set some variables. So we need to set the name of the package that we want to install from Dax Lib. And in this case, I'm going to go ahead and actually switch it out here to this package right here, just for this demo. So hopefully I don't break this notebook. We then need to give it a data set or a semantic model that we want it to deploy the function out to, and then we need to tell it where that workspace or where that semantic model actually lives. So the workspace that the semantic model is in. Once we have set these variables up top, I can then go through and start to give you some demos of the functions that exist in Semantic Link Labs for dealing with Dax Lib. So the first one is get package timdal, and it takes a package name, and then you can also set a specific version, although if you don't set a version, it'll just default to the most recent version of that package. And then I have some code here just to print it out. So if I go ahead and hit run, what it should do is it should go out and it should return the actual timdal that we had right here. So this is running, and there we go. There is the timdal. Okay, so the next piece that we have, or the next function that's really important, is to get all of the package functions. I don't know if you remember earlier, but earlier in the video, I said, hey, a package can have multiple functions. So that's exactly what this does. It returns all of the different functions that exist within a package. In this case, this package only had two different functions. So we now have a functionality here to get the package timdal automatically using Python in a Fabric notebook. We now have functionality here to list all of the functions in a package, as well as the timdal definition here. You are probably wondering what's next. And what's next is a function to add a package. So, right, you kind of thought where I was going there. So I'm going to update this to none just so we get the most recent version. And we're going to deploy out this time package to the semantic model that we set above in the workspace that we set above. So let's go ahead and let's hit run. And hopefully we will get a little green check mark here indicating that the package has successfully deployed. And look, it now has. So if we were to go and look in that semantic model, we would now have that function available to use. Now, you might have noticed that I set version to none, so that way it would deploy out the most recent version. Well, what happens if later on down the line, we get a new version here of this exact same package? You might want to update to the new version of the package. And that's what this function does, right? It goes through and it deploys out updates if you set a specific version. So I'm not going to run this because we already deployed out the most recent version by setting version equal to none. But yeah, I think you probably saw where this was going, right? What happens if you want to delete out a function? The next one removes a function. So if I go ahead and I remove this, it will go ahead and delete all of this out. Now, what you can do is you can combine all of this into a short little script or a little bit of Python logic that can loop through a whole gaggle of semantic models and deploy or update or remove functions from them all together. And that's what my last demo is. And so without further ado, here's the code. So what I've gone ahead and done is I've defined a function called add or update that takes a dataset, a workspace, and a package name and version. Within there, there's a function that checks to see if the package exists. and then connects to the semantic model that's been passed with it using the tabular object model piece of Semantic Link Labs, updates the model to a compatibility level of 1702 if it's an older model, checks to see if the package already exists in the semantic model, and if it exists, it updates the package, and if it doesn't exist, it adds the package. What I can then do is I can use a semantic link here to list all the data sets in a workspace. And then for every single data set, call my function right here to add or update the package. So if I run this, what you will start to see is you'll start to see as this code loops through every single semantic model I have in my entire workspace, deploying out the functions. And I could do basically the same thing if I wanted to remove a function. And so just like that, you've made it to the end of this video. I will have the Microsoft Fabric notebook that I was showing during this video linked down below in the video description for you to download and for you to use. But hopefully, at the very least today, you left having learned something. If you did, maybe do me a favor. And if you're not subscribed, subscribe and give this video a thumbs up. It means a lot. All right, it's nighttime here and I gotta go to bed. I hope you have a good night.